Today I would like to talk about how we as a nation have gotten ourselves into this situation, despite the fact that we have been warned about it for decades. And as a way of overly simplifying an extremely complicated issue, I would like to focus on only these 4 books, which I refer to as Dystopian's Big 4. Each of these books, in their own ways, warned us about the exact reality we are now watching manifest in front of our eyes. And despite the fact that tens of millions of Americans read these books, our nation still casted their votes to create these realities, the exact realities we were warned against. But why? Let's start by looking at the specific warnings inside each of these books and the ways that those warnings are being ignored today. 1984 famously warned us against a surveillance state, specifically through its depiction of Big Brother. And yet during this inauguration, we saw nearly every CEO capable of surveilling the American people, not only on the same stage as the president, but standing directly behind him. Brave New World warned us against becoming pacified by entertainment, something we see every day as we mindlessly scroll through our phones. We have become nullified and pacified by the exact devices that we think are informing us. While Fahrenheit 451 most popularly warned us against burning books and banning books, it warned us against so much more than just that. Specifically, it warned us against the apathy of education, losing the desire to be informed. Something we are seeing very much today as the war against education only gets worse. And then we have The Handmaid's Tale, which warned us against hyper and fragile masculinity, and that movement's desire to eradicate women's rights and turn them into the submissive people they used to be back in the past. And while we clearly see this through the stripping of reproductive rights, we see this even more so as they try to strip away any opportunity for women to get any access to power. Because according to these people, the only way women can get to a position of power is through DEI. Now, it would be really easy to look at reality and look at these books and say, wow, these authors really predicted the future. But they didn't, nor was that ever their intent. All they did was look at history, then look at where they were in the present, and then follow the path to its inevitable end. And then they wrote down that end for us to read, to warn us about where we were headed. But all we saw was a book. We read these books, but we only saw them as temporary entertainment. We allowed ourselves to fall for the exact same tricks that we were warned against. We had the notes right in front of us, and yet we failed the test. Because these CEOs are fighting for what I believe in. Because it's easier to be informed when it's entertainment. Because the things they were teaching me were things that I didn't want to believe. Because I thought that I would get that job, and I didn't. So there must be a reason. There must be something that is stopping me from getting to the top. We thought evil was only evil if it wasn't on my side. We saw politics as sports. We saw the politicians as teammates. We wanted to win, but there is no winning when you're doing what they want you to do. We saw the warnings. We just didn't believe them.